Hi friends, welcome back to my cozy crafty cabin. So if you're anything like me and you struggle with using double-sided paper because you want to use both sides of the paper, this is a project for you. Okay, so we are going to make some beautiful cards where we get to show off both sides of our double-sided papers. So let me show you my supplies real quick that I used for these cards. I'm using this Hello Autumn paper by Bella, and those are the scraps that I have left. And to decorate and embellish the front of my cards, I used some stamps from this fall collection by Echo Park. I had some leaves, and I also used this stencil I had in my stash. I used the pumpkin stencil, and I just used these to embellish the fronts of my cards. And then here's the paper I actually used for my card base. It's 4.5 by 6.5. But you can, of course, make these cards in any size you'd like. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to show you how to make these cards in this particular size. But of course, make these in whatever size you like. You just want to adjust your measurements accordingly. So I'm taking that 4.5 by 6.5 paper, and I'm going to score it at 2 inches on the 6.5 inch side. So when you fold it, you're left with a square card that's 4.5 by 4.5. And then that left flap is going to be 2 inches by 4.5. So that's your card base. Okay, so next you're going to take your double-sided pattern paper. So I'm using 6 by 6 double-sided paper for these cards, and I'll show you where you're going to cut it for this particular size card. So you're going to take your 6 by 6 sheet and cut it down to 4.25 by 4.25. And you're going to use the small scrap that's going to be 2 inches by 4.25, and then you're also going to be left with this larger scrap, which I use these scraps to then embellish the fronts of my cards. But what you're actually going to glue down to the card base itself is this piece right there, and then this square 4.25 by 4.25 piece. And then you get to decide which side you want to use for your card, so you can play around with it. So yeah, you're going to put that square piece, you're going to glue it to the back of that left panel, and then you're going to take that smaller piece that measures 2 by 4.25, and that's going to get glued on top of that left panel there. So yeah, you can play around and decide which side you want to use where, and then you get to show off both sides of your paper. So let's get to the fun part and go ahead and assemble and decorate our cards, and I'll walk you through, the whole process. Now, I did not come up with this idea. This was another idea I came across on Pinterest, and it was actually from the same crafter that inspired my last video with those corner bookmarks. And she showed, with using 6 by 6 double-sided paper, how to make an A2 size card, where you get to show off both sides of the paper. So it's the same idea, I just ended up making it, in a different size card. But if you want to get the measurements and everything for how to do this in an A2 size card, I'll link the pin that I came across, and she has it all there for you in a short video. But yeah, so I think I'm just gonna set the rest to music, where you can see me go ahead and assemble and decorate these cards, and I'll see you back soon for a final recap where we get to look at the cards. So I just absolutely love how these cards turn out. I love this paper. It's making me so excited for the fall, and I have a trip in the fall that I'm just like getting so excited for. So you'll see also that I glued down a scrap to the inside of these cards. But yeah, I just absolutely love how they turned out and really enjoyed making them and using the stamps and everything. And then I have some scraps left over, which stick around because then I'm going to be making some more projects with these little scraps that I have left. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.